All right, come on in, guys. Today we're going to have an immigration news update. Come on in, and as you're joining this broadcast, say hello and where you're joining from today. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide and across the globe at McBean Law. And in this one, we're going to talk some immigration news, some great immigration news that I just didn't want to wait until Friday, okay? I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to talk with you guys about it. So as you're coming on board, say hello, say who is on, and type in freedom now. Let's go with freedom now, okay? That's what we believe in at McBean Law, freedom now. Hey there, Diana and family and others who are on. Hey there, Kevon. Thanks for joining. Come on in. Say freedom now. Freedom now. Freedom now. Hey there, life. Freedom now. Hey, Pastor McPhee. Nice to see you tonight, Pastor. Georgia from Florida is on. I have some really good immigration news that I just want to talk with you guys. I want to talk to somebody about this. So I said, why not my McBean Immigration TV family? Okay. And so come on in, type in freedom now, and say where you're watching from and how you're feeling on this evening. For those of you who have immigration problems, reach out to us at McBean Law at 888-462-4006. Our contact information is scrolling on the bottom of the screen. But so tonight, it's all about some immigration reforms, some ideas, good ideas from the Democrats, okay? Go figure. Okay, I'm not a Democrat, for those of you who don't know that yet. After all these years, you learned that, right? So the Democrats actually have some really good ideas that I really agree with. And if Biden can do the right thing, he has the power to do the right thing. These are the reforms that I'm talking about tonight. These reforms, guys, have the potential to really help people in need, maybe about 1 million. Okay, and so that's why I'm excited about it. And Biden has the power to do these things, and the pressure is on because today, 80 Democrats, this is Democrats to Democrats, right, talking, saying, hey, President Biden, you've got to do this. You have the power to do it. We know you're working on some things. And here we are, 80 of us Democrats who are saying, you've got to do this. And we're going to really look for you to do this. So, what are they talking about, guys? So, they're talking about some major things that could really help undocumented individuals who have been in the United States for years, primarily those who are spouses of a US citizen or DACA, okay, DACA recipients. They're talking about things that could help you, undocumented, not newcomers, not new people, so to speak, who are coming into the United States, but those of you who have been here for years, okay? So let me just share with you guys. Come on and type in freedom now, freedom now, freedom now, and let me know where you're watching from. And then, of course, tell me what you're thinking about what I'm going to share with you. So this is the letter, okay? This is the letter that 80 lawmakers sent today to President Biden, requesting that he do some things, some very specific things that immigration lawyers will are very excited about, meaningful things. And so the first issue is this. The letter points out that more than 1.1 million undocumented spouses married to U.S. citizens have lived in the US on average 16 years. 16 years they've been here, and many of them have been married to their spouses, their US citizen spouse, for a decade. So the letter immediately points to the fact that, hey, President Biden, listen, we're talking about US citizens here, voters, okay? Voters, 1.1 million US citizens will be impacted by what we're asking you to do here. And it goes on to say that, let me jump over to page 2 if I'm able to, with this setup that I have here. Give me a second here. Let me stop the scroll for a minute. Stop the scroll. Okay, so on page 2 of the letter, it says that the fact that there are certain bars in our system, immigration system, that prevents immigration judges and officers from using their discretion to grant relief to certain urgent cases. And so they're urging, number one, for parole for the Biden administration. And I've talked about this before, right? I've talked about the fact that parole is on the table. So parole is still on the table, and parole to spouses of a US citizen to be granted on a case by case basis. And we see them granting parole to Ukrainians, to Haitians, to Venezuelans, and to others. And so the request here is that, well, what about those undocumented here in the United States who are married to a US citizen? What about them? Their spouse may end up voting for you, right? So pay attention to them. And this is significant because then it would give that US citizen, the spouse of a US citizen, a work permit. And that's really significant. So that's the first thing that they are proposing here. Then the second is also super important, super important. Permit spouses of Americans to work while their green card cases are pending. And you might be saying, well, isn't that the case right now? My understanding is that they can get a work permit while they're waiting on adjustment of status. Well, yes, if it's adjustment of status to get the green card here. But what about those many, many, many people who cannot get the green card here? They have to go to an embassy to finish the process, and they need the waiver, the 601A. What about them? There's a huge backlog with this waiver. People are waiting 3 years. Our cases, we're getting our approvals now for cases that we filed in 2020. So 3 years, 3.5 years, people are waiting. So why not give them a work permit while they wait? So under this proposal, individuals who are spouses of US citizens who are waiting for their 601A waiver to be approved, they would be eligible for a work permit, okay? So that's the second proposal. And that makes a whole lot of sense to me, right? Because they need, if they're on the path to a green card, and they are on the record, let me go back. They're on the record, they're on the radar with immigration as trying to fix their status. Well, why penalize them by not allowing them to work lawfully here in the US, like spouses of those who are going through adjustment of status? Why separate them? Those two. Okay, the third major change that they're talking about, that they're pressuring the president to do, is with respect to DACA. Okay, for folks with DACA who are trying to get their green card, one of the major challenges that they face is that many of them have to go back to a US embassy to finish the process. But the problem is many feel insecure about leaving the country because if things do not work out well at the the embassy with their interview, well, they're fearful that they could be stuck outside of the country waiting until things get sorted out. So they like to have an advanced parole. And we also recommend that people get an advanced parole before they leave the US for their embassy interview. But the problem is the advanced parole for DACA holders, the period of time that they could use it is very, very, very short. And so they have a timing problem. They get this interview date somewhere out there in the future, and then they no longer have that advanced parole and opportunity to travel. So this this fix, okay, that the president has the power to do, would allow the Department of State and USCIS to coordinate these types of things with DACA holders and their appointments, so that they could have their advanced parole and travel. Okay. All right, type in freedom now. Now, this last one I'm so excited about. I can't even tell you. I'm like so excited about this one. And this one has to do with cancellation of removal. Cancellation of removal is the process that allows individuals who have been in the United States for at least 10 years, who have a relative like a spouse, parent, child who's a green card holder or a US citizen, and they have a good character and all of that, to be able to get a 10-year green card through an immigration judge. what the Biden administration had started working on actually in September of last year is a new regulation that would allow individuals to be able to apply for cancellation of removal who are not even in deportation proceedings. Because currently, cancellation of removal is only available to those who are in deportation proceedings. And so, this major, major change would allow people who are caregivers, right? Caregivers to their children, and spouse and others. It would allow them to be able to apply for a 10-year green card without having to be in immigration court proceedings. So this would be huge. And so the letter is pushing for the Biden administration to issue this regulation that they have on their agenda. They placed this on the DHS and the Department of Justice. Let's see. We're pleased to see that DHS and the Department of Justice have placed the proposal on the unified regulatory agenda regarding a regulation to specify that certain non-permanent residents may be eligible to apply for cancellation of removal without first being placed in removal proceedings. Okay, so this is a proposal on their agenda. So guys, let me just shift back here. I like what I'm seeing here. I like these. These are great, okay? Great ideas, significant ideas that could help people who have been here for a long time. Now, it's limited, right? Limited to people who are connected to US citizens, right? So it's limited, and except with the exception of DACA holders. The cancellation of removal part is really significant, and that could help a lot of people, I think. And Biden has the power to do all of these things. So with him having the power to do all of these things, I guess you guys know that if there's a new administration, okay, if there's a new administration, guess what they also have the power to do? Right, exactly. They have the power to also get rid of some of these ideas because these are all within executive powers. Okay, and I didn't even realize that my colors are completely off here with my software, the white and then the black, and it's like it's a mess. But you guys are, you don't care about that. So yeah, here's what you can do. If you are married to a US citizen and you believe in these proposals, well, urge your spouse to raise his or her voice on Capitol Hill to their congressmen and women. Put some pressure on, saying that you support these initiatives, you're pushing for this, your spouse is in a bad situation and they need that freedom, they need that relief. Okay, so raise your voice, particularly if you're married to a US citizen, because this is very, very significant. So I'm gonna jump off now. And guys, I'll be back with you on Friday with the Immigration News Roundup for the week, the summary of the week. And I will be sure to keep you guys posted on whether the Biden administration is actually going to do any of these proposals. It's election season, 1.1 million US citizens are impacted by this. So hopefully he will do something. This is in connection with what he's trying to do also behind the scenes about the border. They're coming up with some proposals, maybe recycled ideas from the Trump years that they are going to put in executive orders. So the executive orders, we're expecting them, they say in the news, within the next coming weeks. We'll see how that shakes out. I will be sure to keep you guys updated on these issues. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight and for watching from Louisiana, Wisconsin, Queens, San Diego, Dallas, New Jersey. You guys are everywhere. Thank you so much. Thank you. Florida is in the house as usual. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being with me, and be sure to share this with other people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.